happy to speak to you guys because I was also in the same race. In fact, in my life, if I would have tried for something, it is always for civil service. All other things somehow, even without trying, they used to come to me, but not civil service. Okay, let's get into the topic. And I welcome you all to Dr. Kalam IAS Academy. This is Raghu with you. Today I'll be sharing some of the important insights which I have got. Like I have been associated with civil service for the past 20 years as a student and a teacher. And with the pen name of Buddha IAS, I have written many books. In this regard, dear students, like I would just like to introduce myself. Let me just introduce a few things. It's not like a self-advertisement, but you should know to whom you are speaking to. So it's just an introduction from my side. This is Raghu. I've been teaching UPSC aspirants for past 13 years. Have taught in many reputed institutions like in Hyderabad, Delhi, Bangalore, RC Reddy, Vision, Analog, Law Excellence, JACE, and many more institutions, like more than 50 institutions have taught. In 2015, I got an extra attempt since the syllabus was changed in 2011. All the people who wrote in 11, they got an extra attempt. In this attempt, with little effort, I was able to top the ethics paper. So I got ethics in a big way, along with polity, economy. I started developing keen interest on ethics and I wrote many books with respect to ethics. Not only that, I have written books on polity and governance also. And one point like which I would like to mention is my teacher. Like in fact, I was the last batch student and one of the favorite student of M. Lakshmikant, the stalwart of Indian polity book. He was my teacher. If I have got any success in teaching or this 7 times I have attended mains 7 times with public administration and anthropology. Not only that, while I was writing your Indian Forest Service and Indian Economic Service, since I have done MSc Agriculture Economics, MSc Agri Economics, I was qualified for writing Forest Service and Economic Service. There we had like direct mains. I have written many times Economic Service and Forest Service mains. This is a brief about me. Sir has told many things with respect to civil service, all these things. Like before I start, let me tell you one thing. If you have got any doubt, anything with respect to civil service, in fact, anything, just note it down. At the end, the podium will be yours. You can ask any question for me. So, dear students, let me tell you one important thing. There are many people who are thinking of preparing for civil service. Preparing for civil services has become a national hobby. So, in Hindi, they'll ask, civils का तैयारी कर रहा हूँ. Like everyone, they have completed degree. Oh, civils. But one thing, IIT, IIM, these students, many have failed. Those like very humble background. Say for example, in Karnataka state itself, I have got like more than 20 to 30 IAS and IPS officers, 20 to 30 IAS and IPS officers who are my students or my friends. Many are very well known. So why I said this point is, whether to start preparing for civil service or not, the only criteria which I would like to tell before this thing is habits. So I'm not telling whether it's a bad habit or good habit. If you have habits which won't allow you to study for 8 to 10 hours per day on a consistent basis, when you are working, when you are in your college, 4 to 5 is more than sufficient. But when you are preparing solo whole time, you have to dedicate minimum these hours. If you have got any habits which are not allowing to study 8 to 10 hours, Please quit those habits. Otherwise, don't start preparation. Yes, because if you can't read 8 to 10 hours, it is not possible. A person who has failed in SLC can get IAS if he, on a consistent basis, prepares. So, my dear students, develop all habits which make you study 8 to 10 hours, and also quit all habits which are not allowing you to study 8 to 10 hours. It may be anything, anything. I'm not specifically saying. If you have these habits which won't allow you to study on a continuous basis, then please don't start the preparation, because you will be simply losing the crucial time of your life. So directly getting into current affairs, most of the students here, they are like thinking like current affairs. Sir, I'm preparing for 2021 or maybe for 2022. Let me take the 2021 itself, the point in contest. They will be asking, sir, current affairs ಏನು ಮಾಡಲಿ sir ಎಲ್ಲ? Shall I read from 2020 or shall I read for 2019? So examination is on June 27th of this year. Shall I read 1 year like June 27th? From here, shall I read? Or shall I go still further? What should I do? Dear students, here it's not like from where you have to read, whether from 1920, you should not go this way. ಹೀಗಿಂದ ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು ನೀವು, ಇದು ತಪ್ಪು. You have to come down. What I meant to say, current affairs, the latest current affairs available is your budget, because budget will be for next year. Budget will be 2021 and 22 for next year budget. Everything in India will depend on this one. So you have got the latest till 2022 March 13th. This will be the current affairs. Start with budget and you have to come down as much as possible. So dear students, budget will be for 2021-22. Your budget is called like this. So this is the one which you have to read. Next is your economic survey. Economic survey itself will be named as 2021 and the previous year 2020. So here 1 year previous year what the government has done, everything will be there in economics. On the other hand, budget will be for next year. So here you are getting 2 years current affairs. This is the first and foremost important thing which you have to consider before I explain the things with respect to current affairs. So I'll be going a little fast because I need to cover a lot of things. Current affairs, yes, what we have to do is, I'm taking the things as it is given in the syllabus. National and international importance. If it is not of national and international importance, don't ever touch. Don't read anything like Modi ji telling the things if it is not related to the national and international importance and it's very, very pertinent to your syllabus. Don't read about the silly local things which normally happen, because we are humans. We are born in a traditional society where definitely we will be having affinity towards our caste, creed, gender, everything. So these kind of things attract you and they will take a lot of time. So don't ever touch if it is not international and national importance. And very important, mark the topics in the syllabus which require updating with current affairs. So take the syllabus which require current affairs thing. You update that. Then you analyze the things. That is the way you have to read for current affairs, not like taking Hindu newspaper or any newspaper. Don't read from cover to cover. That's what all retired people do. Don't do that. Go for the syllabus. In the syllabus, you select the topics. Say, for example, women empowerment. So that should be in your mind. Whenever a topic comes related to women empowerment, pick the topic. That should be the way. So, my dear students, for current affairs, the most important thing is these things. Questions are coming from only these areas, not from any other areas, dear students. Here, budget, as I told you, it is for next year. Economic survey will be of previous year. All these government of India things. Along with that, you'll be having one India yearbook, which is named like India 2021. So, dear students, these are the things which you have to internalize. Afterwards, the other things. Right? So, first of all, you please concentrate and you internalize these things. Afterwards, you go to other things. The other important thing will be with respect to editorial. Say, for example, if you take Hindu newspaper, open the center page. On the left-hand corner, you will be having two sections. These are called editorials. You please read them and make 2 to 3 lines notes, not more than that. And don't even touch other things because you will be simply wasting the things. And also, we will be providing the updated current affairs, which will be of great use to you. We have a great research team, which will be taking care of all these things. Right? So these are the important things which you have to take into consideration while preparing. Then students often ask this, sir, group discussion. Out of my 20 years experience, what I've found is in civil service, group discussions seldom happen. Means group discussion agalla. One of the reason is conflict in discussion, because say for example, if you are studying like third year degree, you have a specified syllabus, specified book, you can discuss. But for this, you don't have. So when the students are discussing, they always end up with conflict. Discussion is exchange of knowledge. Argument is exchange of ignorance. So there will be always ignorance exchange. So what happens in fact really is, you should have a group. But what really happens in all these cases is not discussion. It is the exchange of material, exchange of thought. So every time you will be exchanging the material, important material, short notes. That is the way of group discussion, because you have got limited time. And very important thing is, in civil service preparation, you won't be having compatibility with the students because they will be from diverse areas, diverse states, diverse knowledge. So there is always a kind of group discussion, very, very unique for civil service, that is exchange of material, ideas, all these things. UPSC civil service. Your success in UPSC civil service depends upon the marks you secure in UPSC mains examination. That is very, very important. So this is for 2020. See, these are the marks, 25 marks. In mains, you have got two parts. One is personality, that is interview, and another is written. This is the thing which you have to concentrate. This is the thing which is most important. But at the same time, to write mains examination, you will be like, you have to clear the preliminary examination. Let me just in one line, let me say what happens. So you'll be writing preliminary examination. So let me take, like there are 100 posts or 1,000 posts. If there are 1,000 posts, 12 times this, that is 12,000 students will be taken for mains examination written. Mains examination returns for this. If there are 1,000 posts, 12,000 people will be selected. And for personality interview, for this one, they'll be taking 2,000. 2,000 for this one and 12,000 for this. Preliminary, it's left, like how many they write, it's left. Say it said that 10 lakh, right? Something like that. So out of this 10 lakh, mains written will be for 12,000. Out of this 12,000, 2,000 will be for interview and 1,000 will get the service. Means in every examination, results are out. Say for example, this 10 lakh people, after the prelims result, so Other than this 12,000, all are unhappy. Means 10 lakh people who will be writing minus 12,000, all will be failed in the prelims examination. Once again, in prelims examination, out of this 12,000, only 2,000 will be taken. Means 10,000 will be unhappy again, they will be failed. And once again here, so it goes on. Let me not ponder upon those things. So, dear students, main important thing is mains. So here what you have to do is to internalize the things with respect to mains. Covering the main syllabus, if you cover the main syllabus entirely, means personality and written things, there is no need for you to prepare individually for the preliminary examination. I repeat, and I'm very carefully using the word, if you are preparing for the mains completely, if you are covering all the topics, there is no need for you to prepare for preliminary examination. And your approach should be an integrated approach. It should start from interview and it should then go for mains written. Then it will be covering prelims in that. So if you follow this integrated approach, you'll be having great success. If you start the other way from prelims, mains, and interview, this will be a very, very bad strategy. So first you have to start with the interview. In interview, they will be testing with the values and aptitude. Values means those things which are important to you. Those things which are important to society will be called societal values. Aptitude, on the other hand, is something which is inborn, innate, natural, and it is specific to work. So they are testing for values. To be specific, they are testing for, once again, civil service values and civil service aptitude in the interview examination. If we go about, this is the topic which is present in your ethics paper. So if you are beginning, you have to start with ethics, because ethics is one such paper which can be covered without any prior knowledge. Without prior knowledge, and also it will cover all the prelims and mains things related. See, please, my students, please do give due attention here. This is the score sheet of the first ranker of 2019. First ranker 2019. This is the latest available. See, you can see here. Here, these are the 7 papers which will be deciding your thing, and this is interview. All these things are for 250 marks. 250 into 7, and your interview will be for 275 marks. So you can see here, in all these cases, they have not got the 50-55% marks. So what I say is, if you are concentrating and if you can get 55% of the marks, you are getting first rank, not service, you are getting first rank. So you have to start with ethics paper in that, because ethics paper covers this 250 marks, and also essay. In essay nowadays, they are asking two of the questions, like there will be 2 groups as sir told, 4. In this 4 you have to write 1, in this 4 you have to write 1, 2 you have to write, 1 each for 125 marks. These 2 are nowadays, previous year in 2020, both were from philosophical. Philosophical point means, once again, ethics integrity. And as I shown you, for interview, they are testing your values and aptitude. This is the one which is, so here 250, here 250, here 275, more than 700 marks will be covering in ethics paper. So you have to start with ethics paper. Dear students, I would like to clear one important thing. When I ask students, please tell me the topics which are there in civil service examination, they say history, geography, polity, economy. See the marks, how they are. In GS1, you have got history, geography, and society. Each will be contributing nearly like 70 to 80 marks only in total. History, geography, 70 to 80. Once again, history will be having ancient, medieval, modern. Once again, in that, world history, cultural part, geography again, world, Indian. These are the things which are not fetching you good marks. You are getting high marks in ethics, essay, and interview. These are the things, including your options, which are deciding your score. So, dear students, this is very, very important that you internalize these things. So, you have to start with ethics, and also, other than that, if there is very important thing in case of NCERT which you are following, in this, why I say is polity is very, very important from all the aspects. So you should start with sixth standard. See, please note the topic, like title of the book itself, social and political life. In anywhere, you have got three aspects of life. One is social, another is political, and another is economic. Say, for example, empowerment of women or empowerment an individual. Can we think of empowerment only by giving money? Say, for example, I have a lot of money, but my status in the society, social status is very low. I don't have power in decision making. Take the other case, women empowerment. A woman is given high position in the society, and also she has the decision making power, but no money at all. Will that lead to empowerment? No, we should have social, political, and environment aspects. Here you will be covering social and political. Means you will be covering almost like 2/3 of the things what is needed in the civil service preparation. This is the sixth standard. Seventh standard again, part two, social and political life. Then third, social and political life. It is the eighth standard one. They have taken and they have prepared in a logical way based on the research. Then you have to go for democratic polity, ninth standard, democratic polity 2, 10th standard, afterwards Indian constitution, 11th standard. And in 11th standard, you have got political theory. In 12th standard, are given like little complex things with respect to politics in India since independence and contemporary politics. So it will be covering a huge section. Dear students, prelim syllabus is equal to main syllabus. I reiterate, prelim syllabus is equal to main syllabus. Why I say is, previously, like in 2020, preliminary examination, there have been instances of more than 15 questions which have directly come from what you consider as main syllabus. Say, for example, agriculture. In agriculture, you are having more than 15 questions, more than like 8 to 10 questions in preliminary examination, but in no way they have mentioned anything related to agriculture in preliminary examination. Similarly, related to representation of people act which they have asked in 2020, which is not present in your preliminary syllabus. So preliminary syllabus is equal to main syllabus for another reason. Say, for example, geography. Geography of India. This is the thing which will be present in prelim syllabus. But you cannot consider this as a syllabus because it's too vast. So the corresponding things in the mains are the things related to the prelim syllabus. See, for example, see, look into these things carefully. Here, history of India and Indian national movement. See, it's a very, very broad thing. When it comes to geography, India and world geography, we cannot take this as a syllabus. This is your prelim syllabus, nothing more than that they have given. So corresponding topics in mains, your syllabus. So I have given the instances how the agriculture, can you find any word related to agriculture here? But 8 to 10 questions previously in 2020, they have asked about agriculture. Means out of 100, they have asked 10 questions from agriculture, but agriculture is nowhere present. So any topic, if you are preparing, please prepare the corresponding things in the main syllabus. Optional subject selection, very important. The students, please do concentrate here. Here, with respect to optional, the scope according to UPSC, the scope of the syllabus for optional subject will be a level which will be little more than your degree, bachelor's, that is honor degree. But in case of engineering, medicine, science, and other things, it will be a bachelor level. Dear students, let me tell you how you have to choose the options. When I started preparation, I started with agriculture as an option. Along with botany, IFS, Indian Forest Service, two options. Indian, like MSc agriculture. So agriculture was my economics for my other thing. After that, somebody told that these are the things which won't be fetching you good marks. So I took anthropology and public administration. So I went to Hyderabad for coaching. So why I'm saying is because I have some idea with respect to all these things. So I have written UPSC mains examination, civil service, and also your economic service and forest service in this. Not only that, when it comes to the things like political science and public administration are having the same syllabus almost. That is the reason when we had two options, we are not allowed to take these two simultaneously. Similarly, those who took anthropology were not allowed to take sociology. So in this direction, I do have some idea of nearly 7 subjects which are there in UPSC. So what I say is, when you are taking these options, you have to take into consideration one important thing. Very, very important. This is one of the latest thing you have to keep in mind. Please concentrate here. Here, my dear students, 25% of the syllabus in the preliminary should be covered by your optional. So please be careful here. When you are selecting the optional, you should select an option which cover at least 20 to 25%. Because, say for example, I'll tell you why. Before that, number one, clearing prelims has become very, very difficult because large number of candidates. If you take optional, which is if you take an optional which is covering 20 to 25% of the syllabus, then you will be having a hedge because you are preparing the preliminary syllabus, this 25% to the optional level. To clear preliminary examination, out of this 100 questions, if you get net 55, that is, if you get net 110, it's more than sufficient, you can clear the prelims. I hope you are getting the point. You should select such an option which has got at least 20 to 25% weightage in prelims, because you will be mastering this 20 to 25% to a very depth, to the optional level. So it will make clearing the prelims easy. That is one point. Say, for example, you are having examination on June 27th this month. If you are taking some option like anthropology, which is not there related to prelims, you'll be stopping studying anthropology in January itself because you have to concentrate on prelims. So January, February, March, April, May, June, you won't be reading anthropology. After June, July, August, and September. September, you have got mains. So in these 3 months, you have to read anthropology again. That too, you have to read along with the other GS related things. Once again, here, when you concentrate anthropology, you won't be giving more importance to the GS thing. If you take a subject which has relevance in prelims, then it will be very easy for you to clear. Let me just explain you with some of the things here. This is your prelim syllabus. So do take those subjects which are having relevance in preliminary examination: history, geography, polity, economy, the environment. These are the things which have got relevance in preliminary examination. Geography is the one which is having nearly 40% weightage in your preliminary examination in the form of geography, along with your environment will be covered, environment and ecology, along with agriculture will be covered. So geography, environment, ecology, agriculture. By this, nearly 40 questions you can think of in preliminary examination. That is one point. And if you go for polity, it will be covering 20 to 25 things. History, once again, like around 20. These are the three things which you can take if you want to make sure that you clear the prelims. Otherwise, clearing the prelims becomes very difficult, because your optional will be something like sociology, something like anthropology or psychology. So these are the things which are not there in prelims. On the other hand, if you take polity, if you take geography, if you take history as your optional, they contribute more area, and in this area you will be the master. As I told, you have to make minimum 55 questions correct net to clear. Say for example, geography, polity, that will be very easy for you to crack the thing, right? Moving forward, see, these are the things which are present in your preliminary syllabus. So I hope you are aware with the syllabus, so I'll be just going fast. So when it comes, these are the number of options present. So you can go for the things which I have marked in red. They have got relevance in preliminary examination and also in mains examination. See here, these are the things which are more relevant. This is your mains syllabus. So in the mains also, you can take those subjects as optional which have got relevance in your mains. By that way, you can have a scientific approach. So these are the same subject once again, which have relevance in your main syllabus. So I will be telling a detailed strategy for 2021. According to me, see, I always thought of getting a first rank here. So I'll say what you have to do to get first rank for 2021. Not only that, if time permits, I will brush up and I will give some of the important things to clear your 2021 examination also. As I have already cleared 7 times UPSC Civil Service Preliminary Examination, my suggestions will be of great use to you. Number one, never start your preparation with preliminary examination. If you start from your preliminary examination, you'll be stuck there itself in prelims. Your mind never think of the main thing. Your thought. Say, for example, all the students will be preparing things like Lakshmikant, Spectrum. No, say, I am the student of Lakshmikant. I have a great honor. But the thing is, you will be stuck there itself. Your mind never thinks anything related to mains. These are the things which are needed for you to get service. This is a first ranker scoreboard. So there is economy, there is essay, there is ethics, optional, interview. These are the things which are deciding. See here in GS1, history, geography, and society. All this put together, first ranker was able to get only 100 marks. First ranker, not an ordinary individual, like ordinary ranker. No, think about others. They might have got in first paper some 70 to 80 marks. That's it. The whole history, geography, all these things will be giving you only 70 marks in your selection. So you have to be very careful. And also, not only that, if you start with prelims mindset, you'll be there. Your mindset will be in prelims, means objective type, never subjective related things. The mains examination is intended to assess the overall intellectual traits and in-depth understanding of the candidate rather than mere range of information and memory. So here, my dear students, what you have to do is you have to go in topic wise. A topic, you have to have an in-depth knowledge, not a superficial thing about everything. So these are the things which are given in the syllabus. the in-depth understanding. So you choose the topic, go in depth. Nature and standard of questions in general studies paper, that is your GS1 to GS4, that is paper 2 to paper 4, will be such that a well-educated person will be able to answer without any specialization. This is true, my dear students. Here, there is no need of specialized knowledge. And once again, as I have shown you, if you get 50% of the net marks in mains, you'll be getting post IAS. 50 to 55% if you get, you will be getting first rank in IAS. So, my dear students, a well-educated person, if he is asked to give some suggestions or write what he will be writing, these are the things which will be expected from you. So, please do bear that in mind. And here, it is all about analyzing your mental caliber in civil service examination. So first of all, dear students, the first strategy for anyone will be to master the notification. And you should not start your preparation with primary, because you will be stuck there itself. And also all the topics in the prelims are covered in mains. You have to make sure that you are doing this. Notification, nobody of reading, please do read, take a printout and mark off all the things which are important for you. Then again, please do follow the footprints of UPSC, which is very, very important. The syllabus, the UPSC questions and UPSC books. These are the things most neglected. See, many of you might have already started UPSC preparation, but can anyone tell me the complete syllabus mains? No. Can anyone say the previous year questions? Like why I'm like confidently saying no means I found nearly more than 98% of the students won't be doing these things even after 2 years preparation. If you are not aware of the syllabus, if you are not aware of the previous year question paper, how can you prepare? When you have the syllabus and previous year question paper, you will be in the frequency mindset of the UPSC question paper setter. Say, for example, any of your teacher or any of you are asked to set question paper for 2021. What you will be doing? You will be looking into the syllabus. Afterwards, you will be looking into the previous questions. That is the way it is made. And also UPSC books like NCERT, they are the which you have to refer, not any other things or the things which are prepared using these books. I'll tell what are the UPSC books later. Unless you master the syllabus mains, until and unless you know the previous year question paper, you won't be in a position to read what not read. So dear students, please go home and internalize the syllabus. This is very, very important. This is the thing which nobody is doing. So you have to memorize or internalize the by heart the syllabus. How to memorize? This is a very difficult thing. For that, the thing is, you should know how many topics are there. How many topics there are there in UPSC? You have not made the effort. In fact, see here, if you go through all things one by one, there are only 60 topics in all GS 1, 2, 3, 4 on broadly the things in a broad way. Mean to say, see here, in GS1 you have got 12. I have not done anything. I have just marked the things. In GS2 you have got 20. In GS3 you have got 20. In GS4 you have got only 80. Means to say that you have got only 60 topics in your general studies which you have to concentrate. So please simplify the syllabus. This 60 topic, how to simplify this? Write down one word first with respect to these things like this. So it will be very easy for you to memorize all the things related to the syllabus. Then once again simplify the things. How to simplify once again? Take the syllabus, say in GS1, just take the heading of the syllabus. Means you have got 6 important areas. So all the topics related to these 6 areas you put in one place. In GS2, you have got 5 areas. So put all the topics here. Once again, in GS3, you have got 6. By doing like this, your mind takes the things very easily, very easy for you to assimilate. In GS4, you have got only 8 topics. So simplify the syllabus. Mean to say, let me say this once again. Syllabus, in that we have got like GS 1, 2, 3, 4 headings they have given. So you make the point here and write all the topics related to this here. Keep a separate book for all these things, 1, 2, 3, and write all the things related to the topic here. That is the way you have to remember and you have to go through. Otherwise, it is very, very difficult for you to remember the things. So take a book and divide them into these topics and keep all the things related to these things in that book. Say, for example, economic development in GS3. See, these are the things present here. With respect to economic and biodiversity, this is the only thing which is present. With respect to technology, they are given three important things. With respect to disaster, there is only one line, disaster and disaster management. So all the things related. So if you know that, you can prepare and you can internalize the syllabus. When you know the syllabus and how the previous year questions are there, then it will be easy for your preparation. Security, these are the 5 areas. So it is very easy for you to internalize if you go in this way. Syllabus, memorizing the syllabus is must for you. Say here, in GS3, you have got one more area, agriculture, which is not mentioned exclusively. So this you put here. Here also just think here, see here, the things which I have marked in red, major cropping systems, farm subsidy, public distribution system, food processing, land reform, these are the things. If you keep these things in mind, your preparation becomes very easy. So my dear student, simplify them and rearrange the things. That is the way you can remember. And also read the syllabus daily. Every day as soon as you get up, read for 5 minutes. If you know the syllabus, you can say, I know what UPSC wants. Then you may ask me like, which is the first book I have to read? For those beginners, it is the India which you have to read, because it is the one which is given by Government of India. Government of India, these are the chapters which are present. Let me elaborate this for you. See here, polity, agriculture, culture, economy, technology, environment, finance, everything related to subject is given. All these things are present in India Yearbook. Environment section, finance, corporate, food and service, transport, science and technology, diary of national events, everything is given. So India Yearbook is the first book which you have to read, because UPSC is picking questions from these things. Here, the things which I have highlighted are the things which are of general. On the other hand, all the things related to from agriculture to youth affairs are related to the things which are there in agriculture ministry, culture and tourism, Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Tourism, basic economic data, it is with respect to Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. All the Government of India ministries are given in an alphabetic order. Questions are coming from here. And at the end, we also have some important things with respect to like table of presidents, all these things which are also very important, which you have to concentrate. To begin with, it may not be possible for you to assimilate the amendments of the Constitution, though they are important, which you can read afterwards. The appendices, here it's not that important because they are given just cabinet ministers, Government of India, all these things. Otherwise, everything in India Yearbook is very important to you. Second most important is your budget, because budget is everything related to next year. Anything government does till next financial year will be based on budget. In this budget also, the 4 most important things which you have to concentrate is the things which are there at the top. From here, the questions are coming, not from any other sources. So key to the budget highlights, budget speech and budget glance are the important things which you should take into consideration, my students. So budget speech, you have to start with budget speech, a very, very lucid thing. Take the printout. If you want, if you have time, you can listen to the speech. Otherwise, take the printout. Afterwards, key to the budget document. Afterwards, prominent thieves of the budget and budget at a glance. These are very, very important. especially the things given in the third and fourth theme of the budget and budget at a glance are given in a very pictorial form, very, very easy to assimilate. Next is economic survey, a very, very important document. Volume 1 will be about analysis. See, this will be the contents normally. Here, what you have to do, must and should, will be at least to read the introduction and chapter at a glance, which are very important. So volume 1 is about analysis. You have to read introduction and chapter at a glance, minimum, bare minimum what I'm saying. If you have time, you have to read everything. When it comes to chapter 2, volume 2, it is about Indian economy. Where whenever you think like if someone says related to economy, you will be confused like it will be full of facts. Don't think like that. In economic survey, say for example, in volume 2, chapter number 6 and chapter number 7 are related to your sustainable development, climate change, and agriculture. And afterwards, the things are given are not related to your numbers. They are related to the industry, infrastructure, service, social infrastructure development, all these things. Only these things, fiscal policy, this 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you will be having factual things. In fact, the first chapter, the state of economy, is a summary of all the chapters. So, my dear students, in volume 2, you have to internalize chapter 1, and in all the cases, as I said, you have to do one thing, introduction and chapter at a glance, which is given at the fag end. These are just half a page, which you have to internalize because UPSC is asking questions from these things, right? So must do in all these things is boxes and tables. In that, UPSC is directly picking questions. Boxes and tables, very important. The data is concentrated there. The gist of the things are presented. So you have to internalize these things. See the current affairs of the thing, how nicely you can make out. Budget will be for next year. Your economic survey for previous year. India 2020, the whole analysis. So by this, you'll be getting 2 years current affairs. This should be the basis for you because UPSC is directly picking questions for prelims, mains, and even in interview. When I went to interview, in fact, the interviewer were having these books beside them. So, my dear students, you have to go through these things, which are very, very important. Other current affairs sources are of very, very less worth compared to these things. So, do once again, while reading, you have to keep the syllabus in mind, previous year questions, and also always have original copy with respect to these things. And also, before you start, please have a bird view. Don't start from beginning to the last. You should have a bird view with respect to these things. And nowadays, videos are very, very like popular. What I say is you have to see a video only once. This can happen only when you are seeing the video and you are making note. You should see the video and make notes. You should not see the videos again and again because it will be simply wasting your time. Dear students, in most of the cases, I have put the first Angus marks here just to say what are the important strategies because marks should be in your mind, the trend should be in your mind. And in civil service, you should always have a study partner because it's a long journey. You cannot think of civil service preparation alone. Why I'm saying is I have mentored many students, IAS officers, children, like top brass. They don't have study partner. Here, study partner is one where you interact with them on a regular basis. In a society, one of the reasons why we marry is we want a partner for life. Say, for example, 30-year person will be marrying for another, like maybe for the rest. Similarly, civil service preparation is not a one-day affair. For that, you need a partner to talk about civil service, to share your ideas. So it doesn't mean that you always stay together. You should have a regular correspondence with that person. And seniors are very, very important. Wherever, if you find any person who has written at least mains, please have interaction with them. Just speaking to him, you'll get a lot of ideas because you can compare what he is doing, what is his knowledge. Otherwise, you'll be in an illusion. Like who will be the persons who will be clearing prelims? Who will be the persons who will be going to interview? You won't be having any idea. So dear students, seniors are very important. At least those who have written mains, please do contact them by any means. Until and unless you say that I know what UPSC want, your preparation has not yet started. You can say I know what UPSC wants when you have mastered the syllabus and the previous year questions. Because say for example, you have given something to read anywhere. First see whether it is in the syllabus. Okay, yes. Then the nature of questions, then you will be giving the required stress that. Otherwise, you don't know whether it is in syllabus or not. You don't know the nature of questions. Then how can you read? It is possible only when you know the syllabus and the previous year questions. Otherwise, you will be directionless, my dear students. Habits, as I told you, please do quit all those habits which won't allow you to read 8 to 10 hours and develop those which allow you to do that. And your strategy should be like a bamboo. Means throughout the year, see, it is said that bamboo takes in some of the Chinese varieties, it takes nearly, in some cases, years to germinate. But after it germinates, in 5 to 6 months, it grows to a very, very huge height. So what I said, your preparation should be regular. When it comes, when the exam approaches, you should put all the things what you have, and you have to come up with, like say for example, last 1 month, you have to put all the things, all the energy what you have. So you have to be consistent, but when in the exam approaches, you have to put a lot of effort. As I told, watch videos only once. The only way is make notes. Google the things. This is the most important thing. Even the rocket scientists, the NASA scientists are using Google. There is nothing which is not present in Google. Anything you need, just Google the things. If you still want specifically, just add UPSC, just add IAS. You'll get all the things needed. So Google should be one of your best friend. They say Google knows more. Google knows more than anyone. So dear students, please do make use of Google. Daily routine is the key, because this is a long journey where your motivation should be very high. We can't be motivated on a daily basis. For that, the only thing is routine. Daily routine is the secret of discipline. If you don't have daily routine, let me just give you an example. Say, for example, an individual is going for jogging for the last 2 years. For the last 2 years, he is going for jogging or gym for the last 2 years. Then can you think that this individual is going to jogging one day at 6 o'clock and another day 7, 8 a.m. and sometimes he goes at like 7 p.m., another 9 p.m. You can't. Can you think of an individual who does like this? No, because a person who has daily routine can only do these things. So, dear students, you have to put a daily routine. You have to put a timetable and just stick to it, because we can't have motivation all the time. When you make the things as a routine, you'll be more disciplined. You should have a lot of energy. So, my dear students, many of you might be thinking like sometimes of you may be feeling like reading, but you won't be having energy, because brain needs a lot of energy. So do take foods which give energy, and nap for 10 to 15 minutes is very, very important in your preparation. Brain needs a lot of energy. These are the ways, these are the things which UPSC aspirants who have succeeded do. Confidence is the key. Confidence leads to efforts, efforts leads to confidence. This is like your chicken egg relation. So if you have confidence, you will put efforts. If you put efforts, you will have confidence. So if you don't put efforts, confidence won't come. If you don't have confidence, efforts won't come. See, if you are confident that I will clear the UPSC examination, you will put effort. So it's like that. Next, short notes, very, very important. Among the students whom have seen, those who have made notes according to syllabus, See, once again, short notes, not notes. Your Lakshmikant, all these books are, they are short note. They are notes themselves. You have to make short notes. Those who have made notes according to the syllabus, more than 98% of students have cleared the UPSC. You should have short notes for the whole syllabus according to the syllabus. So I once again say, don't make notes, make short notes, because what you are getting is already a notes. So very short notes. For example, with respect to polity, the whole polity you should be having in 10 pages. So if this is the page, make it 2 or 3 parts. Write it down, some of the important thing. You have to repeat this 10 to 15 times. Then you will master that. So make a short notes and revise them regularly. This is one of the secret. Until and unless you make short notes, it's very difficult for you to remember. You try with your academics too. Important topics, make the notes. Once again, revise them again and again. So let me say a very important secret for you. Say, for example, important topics. I will give 3 important topics and I'll say, I'll bet that out of 100 questions, you'll be getting minimum questions this time in 2021 preliminary examination. What are they? Government of India schemes and programs. Map. Only 2 maps I would like to say today. India and also world. In this, India political and India physical. The same. Word political and word physical. Don't read any other map. Master them. Nearly 3 to 4 questions may be coming from this directly. Sometimes 5 to 6 have come. All the acts from Regulating Act to Indian Independence Act and your State Reorganization Act of 1956. See, these 3 topics will be getting 10 marks. Please note, and if you don't get, you can ask. There are chances that you may get 15 to 20 also. There are instances where Government of India schemes and programs, they have asked like 8 to 10 questions. So important topics, you have to master them. The things, you have to have a overall view. Moving forward, enjoy preparation. That is the secret of UPSC preparation. Dear students, enjoying the preparation will make you like, it's a different kind of thing. Whenever you get into table, you should be enjoying those things. You should be excited when you come to preparation. Whenever you are like about to go to your table, you should be very eager, as though you are going to meet someone, your friend or someone. If you don't have that, if you are thinking like, oh, I can't read, those kind of things, it is very difficult. ಇಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಓದಬೇಕು, ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಓದಬಾರ್ದು. So then only it is possible, my dear students. So you should have a plan for all these things. If you don't have a plan, it is very difficult for you to get the rank. So do make a concrete plan for this. That plan should have time in mind, and also you should take into consideration UPSC books. Means what are those UPSC books? That is your budget, which will be releasing on February 1st. Another UPSC book, your economic survey, January 31st. So you have to take these kind into consideration and you have to make your plan. Right? So in taking all these things, and if you make a plan, you will be having greater chances of success, my dear students. Once again, confidence and daily routines are the key for your success, my dear students. And once again, please do take one day at a time. Already you have thought a lot of things, like how to prepare, what to prepare, all these things. Take one day at a time. Even if you think this is 1 year, you have got only 300 days. If you can squeeze today, if you can get more out of today, that will be more than sufficient. Take one day at a time. Don't think much about the future. Future will somehow come, and you have already thought like ಹೇಗೆ ಓದ್ಬೇಕು, ಹಿಂಗ್ ಓದ್ಬೇಕು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದಿರ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ. ಈ ದಿನ ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋ, that matters. Take one day at a time. You have to squeeze that day to the maximum. So how can you do that? That can be done only by daily routine. This is the secret of discipline. What is discipline? Doing what you have to do, whether you like it or not, is discipline. This can happen when you make the things your routine. Always do meditate and exercise for 10 minutes. This is very, very, very important. Many of you won't be doing that, thinking that this is waste of time. This has proved scientifically many times that you should do these things. Otherwise, what you read, your retention will be down if you don't have these two things. Fix sleep and wake up time. If you don't have fixed sleep and wake up time, you have not yet started a daily routine. And dear students, recall everything before you sleep. Recall everything before you sleep. Your tomorrow starts when you sleep, not when you wake up. I repeat, your tomorrow starts when you sleep, not when you wake up. Some think that I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll make a plan for that day. Not possible. These are the people who never wake up on the specific time. So before you sleep, you make a plan for the next day. Plan for tomorrow before you sleep. I repeat, plan for tomorrow before you sleep, not after when you wake up. Daily read 8 to 10 hours. This will lead you to first rank. If you have got any doubt, please let me know. So dear students, here I would like to just tell one important thing with respect to UPSC mains answer writing. Here, you know why UPSC introduced question come answer booklet. Means very important. This is not known to anyone. This booklet will be given where the answer, the questions will be given like this. You have to write answer here itself. A very important thing not known to many students. So why did UPSC introduce this one? Here you will be like I will be clarifying many doubts with respect to, like, students will be asking which question to write first. First impression, first impression. Which will be the best impression? What you have to do? What sequence I have to follow? My dear students, things have changed after the question come answer booklet in mains has been introduced. I am writing similar answers. I'm using similar words. What should I do? Because many of the questions appear same. Question come answer booklet. I don't know question 1, 2. So already the questions are given. In that first question and second question, I don't know. So how about this first impression thing, all these things all be clear if you know how UPSC evaluates civil service mains examination papers. This is one of the top secrets many don't know. After through like talking to many top professors, I have deciphered these things, and in fact, I am the one who has told the whole civil service fraternity how they evaluate. Say, for example, this is a thing. There are things that there are 100 students. So previously, this 100 students, there will be 20 questions in a paper. One student, one paper, 20 questions. So 100 questions like this, 100 students. Before answer come question booklet was there. Question number 1 to question number 20 of a student will be corrected by one teacher. So teacher A used to correct all the questions of one student, like at least similar questions, geography related things, one teacher, everything related to geography. But things have changed, my dear students. So this is the way it used to happen. Student 1, all the questions will be corrected by teacher A. On the other hand, teacher B will be used to correct all the questions related to student 2. So similarly, this is the thing. This was before question come answer booklet. Means one teacher correcting all the questions of a student. Because of this, there was a lot of subjectivity. Say, for example, if teacher A evaluates liberally, so student 1 will be getting good marks.
Hello.
Please. Hello. Somebody asked something. Okay. So here, this was the thing previously. Student 1's all questions used to be corrected by one teacher. Say, for example, student 3, all his questions used to be corrected by another teacher. Now the things have changed. Civil service mains examination paper evaluation method pattern has changed. After answer come question booklet have given, the things have changed to a greater extent. Here, teacher A will be correcting only question number 1 of all students. So I repeat, so teacher A will be correcting only question number 1 of all the 100 students. So here you will be analyzing and you will be having more objectivity in the subjective questions, because he is the one evaluating all the answers of all the students with respect to a particular question. Similarly, when it comes to question number 2, it will be corrected by your teacher B. Similarly, question 3 will be by another teacher. So this is the way. So my dear students, so what is the take home from these things? The take home is think, write and answer each question independent of other question, has a separate question. Don't think first impression, all these things. Because the person who corrects question number 10 will be correcting only that. What you have written in 9th, what you have written in 1, you won't be knowing and it's none of his matter, none of his concern. So take each question independently. There is nothing like first impression there. Don't worry about first impression, sequence, similar words. See if the question is demanding similar kind of answer. Say question number 1 is asking the similar kind of answer and question number 19, the same. So write them, because the teachers who will be evaluating them are entirely different. So my dear students, don't think about which question to write first, first impression, best impression, sequence, similar answers, all these things, because take each question independently, right? So here, any doubt with respect to the things? I still have many things to say. If the time is okay, I'll go about. And when it comes to question, like with respect to, I told all these things, if you are preparing for 1 year, for 2022, taking that. If you are taking, for example, 2021, first, you have to decide. There will be some students will be in a dilemma, this time or next time. So if this is your mindset, and if you are not yet confirmed, my dear students, please take next time, because this is high time. Say, for example, you write preliminary examination. From prelims, mains written will be there. And from mains written, mains interview will be there. Afterwards, selection. See here, think that there are 1,000 posts here, 1,000 posts. For that, they will be collecting 2,000 per interview. They will be selecting like 1:2 here. There, 1:12 means they will be taking 12,000. Dear students, to be frank and to have some reality, all the people who have written 2020 mains means all the people other than IAS who have written last year mains, who have gone to interview, who got even service. I have known many people, many students who got IPS and who have written more than 3-4 times again to get IAS. So once again, there will be many people who have already written the preliminary examination. Those who have already written the mains examination will be competing with you. You still have to like master your optional. Don't, if you are in dilemma, my suggestion is go for next time. Come with full power. Just don't think that I'll just go for this attempt. No, you can. In fact, my dear students, 99% of the students who write first time, they never clear preliminary examination. This is not, I am not discouraging, this is statistics. Have to be fair. I repeat, 99, more than 99% of the students who write in the first time, they won't be clearing the preliminary examination. Because already everyone have been having minimum 6 attempts. There are your seniors already. You should have mastery, then only you can go for the thing. And very important. Confidence, which I have explained. So while you are, these are the things, please bear these things if you are preparing for 2021, these things. Previously, what I said, those were with respect to 21. Means those who are preparing for June 27th examination for you guys, this is the things. Very important, how to crack preliminary examination. I have cleared 7 times. So here, first and foremost, 50% of the time you have, please spend on important topics, and 50% of time exclusively on fast revision. I repeat, 50% of the time you have to give for important topics, those who are preparing for this 2021 preliminary examination. Here, on the day of the examination, very important. See, whatever you read, that is different. Please don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If you are afraid, then why did you take up the examination? You have to say, for example, you are going to meet an individual whom you like a lot. You are going for a vacation. You are going for a holiday. You are going for a honeymoon. The same way you have to invite this. As you approach the examination, you should be very happy. See, reading is different. The questions which you get in the examination will be pretty different. The answer you write will be still different. So don't worry about that. No panic. As you get into examination, as the day approaches, you have to be very happy that, oh, exams are coming very near. Those other things, preparation, all these things are secondary, because these are the examination where sky is the limit. So my dear students, on the day of the examination, it is very important, especially at the day of the exam, at the examination center, it is very very important, because all the things, the fate of 10 lakh people will be decided in 2 hours. The things which you have read for 1 year are put into effect in just 2 hours. So at the examination center, you should have a high concentration. High concentration means to say, whenever you enter the examination hall, you should have a very focused things. Like when you enter the examination hall, if you start staring everyone in the examination hall, maybe your concentration may go down when you are writing the examination. Because say, for example, if you are sitting here, if someone makes some noise to your brain, that person flashes, means you are losing the concentration again. Examination hall concentration is important. For example, one question you are not getting properly, don't go back to your previous thing. Oh, this question I did not read, this was there, this person might have read, he told me to read, I did not read. These kind of things should not come in your examination hall. These 2 hours are very important. You have to internalize, you have to concentrate. If you can concentrate in these 2 hours, major chunk is over. I feel nearly 25% of your success depend upon how concentrated you are in the examination hall. So in the examination hall, you should be very concentrated. And after that, see, on the 27th of June, you'll be having a break after the first paper. So here, generally, you'll be having a break 12 to 2. 2 to 4 will be your CSAT paper. So here, by the time you come out, it will be almost like 12:20, something like that. Once again, you have to go half an hour early. So taking all this into consideration, your brain already gets exhausted after writing one paper. You should take at least 10 to 15 minutes nap for writing the second one. And my dear students, second paper is about aptitude. It is not a subject like your economy, environment, or any other thing which you can master just by reading some more facts. Means this is the thing related to aptitude. This is not your like history, geography, all these things. Aptitudes are things. Here, one very, very important thing is you should have fresh mind for clearing. Here, it's not like your history, geography with a lot of revisions, some important things. No, they are testing your aptitude. Many think that this paper is maths. No, maths is rated only 10%. The other things are related to your aptitude things, logical reasoning, your mental ability. For this, you should have lot of rest and very, very clear mind. So at the examination center, in the examination hall, at the day of the examination, you should have a very, very clear, concentrated mind. And my dear students, for this examination, please do master 10% of the syllabus. I reiterate, I have cleared 7 times prelims and I know the things. 10% of the syllabus is very, very important syllabus, which should be in the form of some 10 to 20 pages notes, which you have to repeat it again and again. Say, for example, maybe like students from polity may be knowing that Article 47. Students may not say this. What is Article 54? You may not say. You might have been reading polity. What is Article 81? You may not say. What is Article 28? You may not say. Why? Because you have not made short notes. See, the whole polity, if it is in 10 to 20 pages and you have revised this again and again, you can make this. Similarly, say for example, history, all the governor generals from all the governors and governor generals from 1772 to till Mountbatten, if they are written in a small page, and if you revise them daily, then definitely you can reproduce them. So make a short notes for this 10%. This is very, very important. And in fact, from this 10%, more than 30 to 40% of the questions are coming because they are important. And in the last 1 month is a golden thing where you have to revise these things again and again. Because my dear students, if you get 55 questions right, net corrected, you will be clearing the preliminary examination. In preliminary examination, if you get 110 marks out of 200, in case of your general studies, you'll be clearing the preliminary examination. Means out of 100 questions, if you get net 55 questions, it is more than sufficient. So here too, you should have very, very fair and the logical thinking. In this examination, you'll be having 2 stages, prelims and mains, as you are aware. As I told you, like 12 to 30% number will be taken for the mains examination. In all the things, preliminary examination, here are the simplest syllabus which are given in a very, very subjective manner. You have to decipher them using the previous year questions. And let me ask you one question, like the thing, think it over because it may be difficult for you. Which is the difficult thing for you? Which is more difficult? Prelims, mains written, or mains interview? You'll be having different portions here. Let me just give you some hints with respect to these things. See here, in preliminary examinations, 10 lakh will be appearing. In that, only 10,000 will be taken if the vacancies are 800. Then in mains, out of this 10,000, 1,600 will be taken for interview. And here in interview, out of 1,600, 800 will be taken. Means in interviews, the chances of success is 50%. In mains, the chances of success is 16%. In prelims, the chances of success is 1%. My friends, UPSC syllabus is one of the easiest, but the exam is one of the difficult for 2 reasons. Number one, large number of competitors. Number two, the syllabus is vast. There is nothing like integration. There is nothing like calculation. Everything is social science. If you have knowledge, if you can read and write, definitely that will be of very, very easy for you. But because it is having large number of students, less number of posts, and the syllabus is vast. This makes the things very difficult for you. That is the thing. With respect to the subject, it is one of the easiest. So in preliminary examination, how to get this 50 things? You have to take care of one third rule. Mean to say that one third of the questions are very easy to answer. This will be from the core areas which you should not make any mistake. And another one third, you have to make logical guessings. If you cannot make, say, let me just explain you this. If this is 100 questions, nearly one third will be easy. In this area, you should not make any mistake. Means silly mistake you should not make. One third means 33 questions you have to answer. And another one third, you have to get them corrected. Here, another one third, you have to get them corrected out of the two things. Out of 2/3 questions left over, you have to see that one third you get corrected. Means another 33 you have to get corrected. Let this one third go wrong. If you go through like one third wrong also, 33 wrong also, one third will be the negative mark. Means net negative 11 questions will be taken off. See here, you would have got 66 or 67. If you take away 11 also, you'll be getting 56, which is more than sufficient. What I meant to say is, one third question you can easily answer. And another one third question, you have to get them corrected out of 2/3 questions by logical deduction, by some other way, like elimination method or any technique, whatever you know by this time. So this is very, very important. And also you have to attempt more number of questions. At least you have to attempt more than 90 questions. Otherwise it's not possible. And very important, here, one third of the questions come from only 10% of the syllabus, for which you have to make notes. As I've already shown you, see Government of India schemes and these maps and this Regulating Act 1772 to your State Reorganization Act. From this, take it from me, 10 questions will come out of 100. If not, like minimum at least one plus or minus one. So like this, you have to come up with very, very 10% important area from which one third questions are coming. You have to identify them and you have to master them. Moving forward, prelim syllabus is main syllabus. This is very important. Students, while you are covering geography, please do cover geography things related to mains. This is very, very important. Say, for example, cultural part. So the things which are given here, you should go through them. And also you have to keep previous year questions, right? So dear students, it's a very, very high time that you take care of these things. Next, another most important thing, please concentrate here with respect to comprehension. Comprehension is one of the most important thing for clearing the UPSC examination. Because if you don't have comprehension, your preliminary examination, you can't complete the paper 1, GS paper. And in case of CSAT, comprehension related to passage-based questions will be 50% of the questions. So if your comprehension is good, your CSAT is very easy for you, no need for preparation. And if your comprehension is good, you can complete the GS paper in time. So you should have to have a better comprehension for these things, right? So for current affairs, I have told you have to read India Yearbook, Economic Survey, and also the budget. For history and for geography, please go for NCERT books, nothing more than that. Just please go through NCERT books because questions are coming from that. As I told you, only 50% of the things are required. With respect to polity, please go through the NCERT books. Along with that, please master the Lakshmikant book. For environment, ecology, all these things, the same current affairs things, along with economic survey, India Yearbook, and your NCERT will be more than sufficient for you. Anything you read will be extra, but you please master these things. If you master that, you can clear prelims. So in all these cases, what is the takeaway is the NCERT books is the basis. If you have mastered NCERT, getting 50% is not at all a difficult thing. Dear students, do internalize these things, right? Comprehension, I have told you, is very, very important. How to improve comprehension? Just please go through the editorial daily for like couple of weeks. Will have great comprehension skills. So if the comprehension is good, like you can solve all the logical reasoning, all these questions also. It's about like civil service is about aptitude. It's not like your history, geography, where by reading more you will be getting the things. So here, let me tell you one important thing with respect to comprehension, with respect to your aptitude. Please do concentrate here. What is aptitude? Aptitude is something which is inborn, innate, natural. So that is the reason some say, like, I cannot, like maths means from childhood I am very poor. Logical reasoning from childhood I am very poor. Maths andre nanagagade illa chikkuduguninda. Because you are not having that mental thing, inborn thing. So when you have that, what is the best solution? The only thing is practice more. Say for example, in aptitude, there is nothing like 0 and 100. We all will be in between this 0 and 100. If you are here, so practice more. If you have more aptitude, practice less. That is the thing. Nothing more than that. Right? So she said it is just for only 2 hours. Intentionally, they have kept the number of hours low in any aptitude test. They definitely and always they keep the time very, very less. So best thing what you can do is just practice them. More practice, it leads to one more important thing. I told aptitude is the inborn thing. But say for example, I have a very, very melodious voice. It doesn't mean that I'll become a singer like Lata Mangeshkar or SP Balasubramaniam. So I need to practice. If I have good voice, less practice may be needed. But without practice, I cannot become a singer. You might have got good aptitude, but without preparation, without training, you cannot. See, aptitude is different from skill. Skill is that which you learn by training. Skill is that which you learn by training. Aptitude is an inborn quality. Mental alertness, the ability to analyze, correlate the things, which you won't be getting by practice. Right? So, my dear students, these are some of the important things. Dear students, if you have got any doubt with respect to the things, any part of the preparation, please let me know. So these are some of the things. There are still many things to tell. We have got a limited time. So if you have got any doubt, any individual, right?
Thank you very much, sir. My dear students, if you have any doubts, please unmute yourself and you can ask your doubts. Any doubts, you can please express yourself. You can just unmute yourself and you can express.
Hello, dear students. Are you awake?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Any doubts you can ask?
Sir, here we have 2 question papers, right, sir?
Yes.
Sir, in this both are options or we have theory wise questions.
Okay. Like since it was a heterogeneous batch, I thought like you know these things. Okay, let me just tell you. So like Vinuta madam, so you are a student. So when you take the UPSC, like when you want to prepare, you have to apply. After applying, you'll be having preliminary examination. In preliminary examination, this preliminary will be objective type. Objective means multiple choice questions. Means to say that there'll be question number 1 and they will give A, B, C, D. So English ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಕನ್ನಡ, ತೆಲುಗು, ತಮಿಳು, ಹಿಂದಿ, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಯಾವ್ದೆಲ್ಲಾರು ಕೇಳಿ ತೊಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮಿನರಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್. ಈ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮಿನರಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಪೇಪರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. One paper is with respect to your general studies. Second paper will is known as CSAT, Civil Service Aptitude Test. So general studies paper ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ 100 questions ಇರುತ್ತೆ, 200 marks for 200 marks. CSAT also will be having 200 marks but only 80 questions. But now for time being you just like think that this is because this is just a qualifying paper. So in this qualifying paper you'll be having these things like logical reasoning, ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ comprehension, interpersonal skills, logical reasoning, decision making, problem solving, general mental ability, basic numeracy, ಇದು CSAT ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ GS ಜನರಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ, ಪೊಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ this with respect to the preliminary thing. So preliminary ನಿಮ್ಗೆ in preliminary you have got general studies which decides whether you go for mains or not. On the other hand, you will be having CSAT, Civil Service Aptitude Test. It is just a qualifying. Mains bante you will be having written examination. Means ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಫುಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲ in writing. This is preliminary is objective and mains is subjective. Means you have to write the answer. So mains ಅಲ್ಲಿ mains written ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ. mains written ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಕರೆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇದಾದ್ರೆ you will be successful and you will become a IAS officer. So I repeat, preliminary is objective type. So mains written is subjective types. Means one question ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ 200-250 words ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಆರ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್?
Thank you, sir.
ಓಕೆ.
Is any further questions? My dear students, here I would like to say one thing, and few people they send me messages like, is it easy to prepare in Kannada or English? The preparing English is very easy than preparing in Kannada. And suppose actually if you are fearing about the English, the paper CSAT, in the prelims there is a paper CSAT, and in the mains there is a language English paper. These two papers are compulsory. If you are not good in English, it will be very difficult to clear those papers. So when those papers are mandatory, and if you could able to clear those papers, then preparing English is very easy thing than preparing in Kannada medium or any Telugu or Tamil medium or anything. Preparing local medium for civil services is very, very difficult. The availability of syllabus of availability of the material is very nominal in the local languages, and at the same time you have to write exact local language. It's not like close the door, this one will not be considered as a Telugu medium or English medium. See, mostly we are addicted to English words. When you are writing in local language, you must write exact local language. I hope these doubts are clear, and almost like 3 to 4 people send this doubt as a message. So any further doubts, you can, instead of sending a message, you can just unmute yourself and you can talk. And our mobile app, Dr. Kalam IAS Academy, Bangalore, you can search in the Google Play Store and you can download. Up to May 7th, we are conducting 3 basics classes, and there is a talent test on May 8th. Toppers will get up to 100% scholarship. It's purely based on your performance in the test and your graduation marks. So please make sure that you will attend the talent test. And if you have any doubts, anytime, you can pass to us. Thank you very much.
Sumitra, Sumitra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, so program tumba chanag bantu.
Yeah.
I was listening last 2 hours. Nannella ಕೆಲ್ಸದ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲೇ I was listening to this. Comprehensive ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Thanks to these people, Kalam Academy ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. So students, I mean, who are listening, just I think ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಿಹೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಈಗ ತಿಳಿದಂಗ ಆಯ್ತು ನೀವು. ಸೊ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿರೋರು just go for it. ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೈ ಅಂತೂ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ದಾಗನೆ more than 90% of them, majority of them ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೊ they won't pass the first attempt ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಎರಡನೇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಹೋದಾಗ ಸುಮಾರು ನಾವು ಕಲಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಅದು ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇನೆ ಅದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್, ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟ್ರನ್ಸ್, ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಅಡಿಪಾಯ ಆಗತ್ತದು. ಸೊ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂತ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ವಿಶ್ ಯು ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಕ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸುಮಿತ್ರಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್. ರಿಯಲಿ ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very much, sir.
Yeah. So I would like to thank Dr. Kalam Academy on behalf of our VC and our principal. Thank you very much, sir. It was a really great session of 2 hours long session. Students, should have the patience to listen and learn. So it was very nice. Thank you so much. I also thank Naren Prasad sir for joining in spite of his busy schedule. And also I thank dear students. Dear students, it is the beginning. So you should all, put all your efforts, energy, and determination. You should be highly determined to pass any course. So this is one such, that's why they have kept the name IAS Yagna. It is like a penance. So I hope you all take up this very seriously and, make your future, fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you, Raghuram sir. Thank you, Srinivasulu sir.
You are most
Thank you
welcome.
very much. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, madam.
Dear students, all the best. All the best. Do well. Okay. Be determined. Okay, dear students. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam, and welcome all students to our mobile app. Thank you very much. And have a
Thank you,
nice
sir.
day ahead.
All the best. Have a nice future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.